Hi, hello. It is Josh Bowe for Pod Maverick, coming to you live after the Mavericks just got thumped by the Toronto Raptors, 122-92. If I'm doing my math correctly, that's a clean 30-point loss. As you can tell by listening to my voice, or if you see my face, if you're watching on YouTube, no Kirk Henderson tonight. We needed to give him the night off. I believe it's his son's birthday and son birthday party, and they're doing stuff right now. Kirk being Kirk said that he would record later if we wanted to, but let's get this over with. Let's rip the Band-Aid off because this game stunk. And, we're just running out the clock on this Maverick season, if we're being honest. Another bad game, another game where they didn't really have a chance. They played hard, but, that's only going to get them so far right now. I'm joined by Jack, one of our staffers over at Mavs Moneyball. Jack, thanks for coming. Appreciate it. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. We're just if you play 2K, you know what like a super sim is when you're just kind of done with a season in 2K or Madden and you just click a button and you can just get the rest of the season over with. That's the point in the season the Mavericks are at right now. But
Yeah,
let's wrap this up.
honestly, we hit that point maybe like 3 weeks ago. I guess since the trade deadline when they officially declared it's over and trading Anthony Davis. But the worst part was, that coincided with Cooper Flagg getting hurt because it's like, well, if we're not going to see winning basketball, at least just see the continued growth and development of Cooper Flagg, and he hasn't been able to play for the last 3 weeks, and now he's come back, and that's at least given something to watch. So we're going to start with Cooper. Jack, I know the in-game swings for you are well apparent in our Slack thread.
Mm-hmm.
I know you can get high and low sometimes in the middle of a game, but Cooper was, he doesn't look right since he's come back, and I think that's expected. I think this is like the longest layoff he's ever had, like playing basketball. He's never really had a big injury before. So being out for basically three weeks, it was 8 games, but with the All-Star break, he was out 3 weeks. That's a lot of time, and he's trying to get back into it. And you could see the glimpses, and like you see bursts and flashes where it looks like the Cooper before he got hurt. But he hasn't really played a complete game since coming back. He's been 31%, 30%, 41% now in 3 games, hasn't hit 20 points. He's rebounding okay. Defensively, he's been okay, and he's passing well, but he's just not shooting well, which I guess, he had a bad foot, and he's trying to get back into it. But I have my thoughts, but I wanted to hit, just what were your quick initial impressions of Cooper tonight? Because he's really the only Maverick worth watching right now.
Yeah, I thought his defense looked really, really good in this game. 2 out of these 3 since he's come back, he's been really good defensively. I just think his touch is a little off. And then
Yeah.
also the Raptors were playing, some of the most aggressive nail help you will ever see in an NBA game. Just complete disrespect for every single other Mavericks player and what they could do offensively. And I
Can't blame
also
him.
think, it's the right decision if you're trying to win.
Yep.
And there's not enough data for me to say this is a trend, but you look at Cooper when he was with Duke and with the Mavericks, when he came into the season, it would take him, 10-ish games to kind of get into a rhythm with his scoring. And now, he misses 3 weeks, and now it's looking like it's going to take him a couple games to get into a rhythm. So I wonder if it just if he has a long layoff, if it just takes him 5 or so games to like really start feeling it. But his passing was good, just his shots a little off. And then he only attempted 17 shots because the Raptors were just, it was anybody but Cooper for the Mavericks. And the Mavericks are not going to win. They shot 5 of 30 from 3. That is just, wow.
5 of 30
That's
from
wow.
3.
That's just crazy.
Yeah, 40% overall. You know what's crazy? They shot 40% from the field, and one of their players went 10 of 10 from the floor. That's really hard
Without
to do.
Gafford has 25 of 78. That is like 30%. That's like 30%.
Yeah, this Gafford really, this was one of the worst shooting performances I've seen from the Mavericks ever. I've been watching closely this team since the early 2000s. And I'm sure I'm obviously missing some. There were some bad seasons after the title and stuff like that. But this was This was really bad. And like I'm just staring at the box score and seeing Gafford's 10 of 10, and then everyone else is basically under 50% or well under 50%.
1 of 11 from Max Christie.
Yeah, Max Christie. We can get to him after the break. He's been struggling for sure. But not I don't know, struggling, strong word. He's just not as consistent as he was to start the season. But Cooper, yeah, maybe I think what's hard for him is he's not a pure jump shooter. So for him to get back into it, like he can't just come on the floor and hit a bunch of jumpers and get himself into the flow that way. Like he is a rhythm, feel, get into the paint, finishing, attacking. And he, his jumper is kind of like a bonus. So he doesn't really have that to fall back on. And so he comes back to this team, which is struggling, and the spacing is maybe the worst it's ever been at this point of the season. No one's making shots. I mean, Max has been inconsistent. Clay has been good for the last couple of games, but he had a clunker. And after Clay and after Clay and Christie, I mean, there's no one on this team that can hit threes. So the spacing's off, and I think teams are now just like, yeah, you're not getting these easy paint points. Raptors felt. I was talking with Kirk about this the other night. I think it was maybe the Celtics game where the Mavericks kept it relatively close and they were scoring in the paint, and I was just like, why? No, sorry, the Celtics were one of the first teams to do it. It was before that. I was like, why are teams letting the Mavericks get to the basket and get to the paint when that's like the only thing that they can do? Like they can't shoot. Why are teams not just giving up open threes to this team of 4 shooters and clogging up the paint? I feel like Boston did it. Now the Raptors are doing it. Like it feels like teams are like, okay, like they're starting to hone in on the fact that the Mavericks really have only one way to score. And having said that, the Mavericks still scored like 52 points in the paint, which is pretty funny, which is like not a bad number. But yeah, Cooper having 6 assists. So he's been 6 assists or more in every game he's played since he's come back. Turnovers are a little high. He's right around, a little over 2.5, but you'll, for a rookie, for a guy who's a point guard first, I mean, you'll take 6 assists and 2.5 turnovers from him. He's, especially since he's not a pure point guard. I think his passing, you're right. I think his passing has been really good. I've been talking about it.
Yeah.
Getting really good right before he got hurt. And the thing that I'll keep emphasizing is it's not just like the assists.
Yes.
Like passing is just better in general. Like he's the ball in the right spot, and he's not always getting rewarded with an assist, but he's making the reads that he wasn't making, I think, earlier in the season. I've been really impressed with his passing.
Yeah. Final thing just on like his scoring, and this is it's not his fault. I mean, there is no one on the entire team who can like help him get going. Like there's no one that can play make.
Nope.
So every one of his buckets is pretty much unassisted. I mean, his percentage of unassisted baskets this year is insane. And especially what I thought that coming into the year was like, oh, he's going to be cutting and, playing off of all these guys, and he's just having to create everything. So if his touch with the floaters and the short mid-range jumpers is off, he's just not going to be able to do anything. But yeah, I mean, his passing has looked really good. I think he'll be a 7-8 assist guy when he's in his prime. I think he's never going to be at that Luka Jokic, that kind of level, but I think he can be in that next tier of guys. You think, I mean, Cade's really good too, but maybe in that second tier of playmakers, because I think he sees it really well. And I think as he gets more experience, I think he'll be even better.
Yeah, it's encouraging that he's continually getting better from the start of the season till now. I mean, he's the best. I mean, he's the best passer on the team, I think.
Yes.
Now, I mean, even with Ryan.
I mean,
Nembhard.
Nembhard. I mean, I'd say Nembhard.
Yeah, Nembhard.
But the problem with Nembhard is there's no scoring gravity, so he can't leverage the playmaking at all.
Right. So maybe the better isn't who's the best passer, who's the best playmaker. It's clearly Cooper. He's the best lob thrower on the team right now. He threw a ridiculous one to Gafford. Yeah, that was sick. His pick and roll passing in particular, he's really leveled up in the last, 10 or so games he's played. And again, it's not always getting rewarded with an assist, and it's not always a lob, but he's always like, okay, they're tagging the roll man, hit the weak side corner shooter. If that guy's covered, you can, at least you're keeping the ball moving. You're keeping the defense in rotation. That's what he's been doing with his passing. Like even if it's not leading to a bucket, it's keeping the defense off balance by hitting the ball where it needs to go in rhythm. And I think he's been really comfortable in the pick and roll. He's doing a little bit of the slow down, stop, start, get the defender on your hip or on your ass and kind of do a little bit of that. So that's been fun. So yeah, I mean, it's worthy of a deep dive. I need to write on that maybe a little bit more later. How well he's been.
Those are summer pieces right there.
Yeah, I know. That's
those are summer pieces right there.
I don't know, man. We got to put stuff on. We got to do something though before the season's over. It can't just be recaps. But I digress. So we're at about 11 minutes. We're going to keep this a shorter podcast. I mean, good Lord, I don't know who even watched this game. Started at 5:00 on a Sunday. We've only got 170 people watching, and 160 of those are on Twitter, and the Twitter numbers are a little inflated. So we've got like 11 people on YouTube. God bless you, sickos. But we don't need to talk for more than a half hour. We'll go 20 minutes. So here's my spiel. If you're watching live, one of the few people watching live, you're not going to see an ad break, but we're going to do one for the people listening tomorrow or listening on the audio only feed. Listen to the ads. Like Kirk says, it's by far the best way to directly help us. I know how easy it is, especially if you're on your car and you got Apple CarPlay or you got Android Auto, because I do this and I'm listening to podcasts. I will hit the little 30-second skip button during the ad breaks. It's really easy. I'm guilty of it, but please, for us, don't do it. It helps us. So if you want to support the show, the best way to do it is to listen through those ad breaks. Our podcast partners, that's the metrics that they see. They can see who's skipping and who's listening through the ads. And that's what helps us the most. So we're going to take a quick ad break. Listen to those if you could. If you're joining live, we'll be pausing for a few seconds. And those of you on the audio only feed, we'll be right back after this break. Okay, we're back. Let's wrap it up. Let's go another, 10 or 12 minutes, and then we can get out of Dodge. Jack, again, I appreciate you for joining and talking about this. I wanted to talk, like, the only other thing that really jumped out, the bad, Cooper's passing. Like, Max Christie had a really bad game, and I'm not sure, it seems really silly to criticize anyone right now because, like, who cares? Like, they're like, the season's over. Like, it's not bad that Max Christie had an awful game. And he's allowed to have one. He's still having a really good shooting season, but he's been a little up and down. His overall numbers are still okay. I mean, he shot 43%. He shot 30% from 3 in February. He was up to 38 before this game. It's obviously going to go way down with an 0 for 7. So since February, he's definitely not been hitting his threes as well. The thing that I'm noticing, and I think we've said this before, is he really seems like a guy that needs a perfect setup to shoot. He doesn't have the quick. I've noticed his release is not that quick. And when he's off movement, it just doesn't look right. Like, his form just doesn't look like it can speed up when it needs to be sped up, when the defense kind of demands, hey, you need to shoot this faster. Or if you're, when you're flying off a ball screen or what have you. Some of his shots look really rough tonight. I don't know. You have any more opinions on that? I don't want to, like, rip the guy. Like, who cares?
Yeah, so I think it's just the percentage going down is just his role. The Mavericks are trying to see, and I mean, why not? I mean, the Mavericks are trying to see, can this guy shoot off the dribble? Can he come off of a screen and shoot? No, he is Dorian Finney-Smith. He is Reggie Bullock. He is not Tim Hardaway. He's not a guy who you want coming off of a screen, or in this game, he was over 7. Probably 3 or 4 of those were him coming off a ball screen and shooting. That's not what he can do. He is a pure 3-and-D and then pump fake, one dribble pull up. I mean, that is his game. So I don't really, I mean, it's just they're trying to see if he can do more, but he can't. And that's okay because it doesn't matter. But going forward, he's someone who, stick him in the weak side corner and just that's what he does offensively.
Yeah, and I think Mavs fans get really excited when he goes on these heaters, and you're wondering, like, can he be the 3rd or 4th best player on a team when they're good? And maybe he still could be. I mean, he's still, he's 23. He just turned 23 years old in February. Like, he's still young. And at the end of the day, like, he's a 2nd-round pick. He could be exactly what he is right now, and he's a wildly successful
he's a good player. Especially on a good team. He'll be a very helpful player. It's just,
no one.
I don't know if I see, much more than solid player. but
Yeah, and again, like
it
everything
still
else, it's
feels a little
harder
mean. Like it's like I don't know.
when you don't have a point guard. It's really hard. So especially for a guy like Max, who like the self creation, it just might not get there. So yeah, that's Max. Klay Thompson came back down to earth a little bit after having two heaters. That's okay. Same for Marvin Bagley. He'd been playing well before he got hurt. He's allowed to stinker. Najee Marshall was interesting. He didn't shoot a lot. But there
I have
was
a
a
bit of a
couple.
take on Najee.
Okay.
But go
Okay.
ahead.
I just wanted to say the one thing I know, two things interesting about Najee, like the fact that he played 22 minutes, only had 5 shot attempts is kind of weird. But the other thing I noticed was most of his shot. I want to say, let me look this up because I got it up, so I got to look it up. I think most of them were in the first half. Most of his shot attempts, Najee. Yeah, three of his 5 attempts were in the first half, and all of those attempts in the first half, if I'm not mistaken, at least 2 of them, I think he was the roll man in the pick and roll, and he was
Yeah,
like
they had
rim running.
Cooper. They had Cooper with the ball. They'd have Najee come, set a ghost, and then flash because Toronto was kind of doubling. I think they
Yeah,
were all like kind of late clocks. So they would come to double Cooper. He'd flash middle and just shoot a floater.
yeah, or he dump it off to not like
Yeah.
Najee. Yeah, and like he finished like a couple of like kind of they look like pick and roll as a roll man possessions. I thought that was interesting because obviously he's a great finisher. Like why not? Like this is the time to do
Yeah.
stuff. So that was interesting. They should do more of that. Like that was fun. Like try new things. Like please just try new things.
I need something.
Right. I need something. And if Najee can be a roll man in the pick and roll and like some weird lineups, try to get Cooper different kind of help defenders on him, just mixing it up. And Najee is he's a good passer and he's a great finisher and he's big and he's strong for a wing. So why not? It makes sense. But now you go to your Najee take.
Okay, so let me preface this by just saying what is happening right now is not real basketball. This is, it's not real. The Mavericks are terrible. But I'm just not a fan of him and Cooper on the floor together. I think they kind of both do same problem with PJ as well. They all 3 of them do the same things. Cooper's obviously the best one, and he's the star going forward. But they all want to get to short mid range floaters, drive. None of them want to shoot threes, right? None of them. They're scared of shooting threes and I just don't like the fit with them when they're on the floor together. I'd prefer if Najee's on the team next year, which who knows, that him and Cooper are pretty much entirely staggered. Because I mean, this is a larger Cooper take, and I'll write about this eventually, but about the type of players. But you want next to Cooper, but I just don't love Najee on the floor with Cooper. In my like, I just
Yeah.
the fact he just doesn't shoot. He shot 0 threes in this game.
Yeah. And I mean,
Like,
PJ shot 5. He was 2 of 5. Like that's okay. But PJ only scored 9 points. Yeah, you're right. Like it's very, you can't have all, it's you can't have all 3. And like you said, it's hard to have 2 of them. I think I'm with you. Like, what's the direction? Like the thing that they need to do this summer is regardless of if they're good or bad, like it kind of doesn't matter. Just yeah. Can you start putting together the pieces that make sense and you can kind of squint and see, okay, this is the next, I can see what the next Mavs playoff team will look like, because you're right. There's a real mismatch. And it's because, the team has an identity crisis because they had a GM.
They built it for someone.
Yeah,
they built it for that someone.
Exactly. So they nuked their roster, built it around someone else. They've nuked it twice. They've nuked their roster twice in about 18, what is it, 18 months or whatever it's been. So obviously it's going to look weird. But yeah, I don't long-term PJ Najee around Cooper, like that's difficult to get all 3 of those guys what they want to get. I mean, maybe if you had you need an elite point guard. And I don't know if they're going to get one anytime soon. And even if they draft one that eventually could become one, like he's not going to be that before PJ's 32 or 34.
Yeah, way off the team.
Right. Yeah. So I don't think that's not a bad take. I've kind of noticed that too. Like they need guys that can let it rip
I
from
think,
the outside.
And like not to get into off-season talk too early. I mean,
No, get into off-season
early,
talk, please. It's not too early.
Yeah. They need 3-point attempts more than accuracy, in my opinion.
Yes.
Like, yes, it'd be nice to get another guy who can shoot 40%. I prefer a guy who shoots 7 threes at 35%. They need to shoot 43s a game next year. I don't care what the percentage is. Shoot 30%. If you shoot 40, there will be enough games where you get lucky and you'll win more. But I can't stand this low variance 28 threes a game crap that they do this year. It's so infuriating. So they need to get 3-point attempts next year, and that's why I think they should keep Clay for next season because they have no reason to try to be bad, and I think getting more shooting will help Cooper the most, and that's all that really matters.
Okay, so if they keep Clay though, how many 30-year-olds you want on this team next season?
Preferably Clay and Kyrie. That's it.
Okay. Okay. Because
But
do they bring back Middleton? Do they bring back
why would Middleton come back?
I mean,
Why?
why?
Like,
I
why
mean,
would
he
he?
stayed. Why would he stay if he wasn't wanting to come back? Because I think
I,
part of it
I, I'd,
was
I'd be fine with him coming back, but why?
okay.
Why would he want to do that? I don't know.
Money potentially. I think if he stays with the Met, I think it's something about like his bird rights or something. I think
Yeah,
with him staying, I think potentially opens him up to getting a little bit more money than he could get from somewhere else. So that could be it. But yeah, I'm with they just it's really cool that this is a team with 21 wins or 21 and 43 and they're still top 4 in paint points per game, but you're
yeah,
kind of seeing the limitations of like, I mean, if you can't shoot it doesn't matter. And I
yeah,
like your point about the very like, yeah, they just don't, they're losing all these games because they just, you can break a winning streak every now and then because you just get hot, but you can't get hot if you
yeah,
don't shoot. Like they don't even shoot them. And I think that was that really
yeah.
funny Brandon Williams quote from the other day was like, he was like, yeah, we're not going to make threes if we don't shoot them. And it was just like, yes, the most accurate thing anyone's ever said about the NBA and the history of the NBA. If you don't shoot jump shots, you will not make jump shots. But that's kind of the story of this Mavericks season.
Yeah, and it's like
Um,
every time Kid will the last thing here, I know we're
no, you're good. You're good. You're
rambling at
good.
this point, but Kid will say like, "Hey, we got to shoot more threes," and they'll shoot more threes for a game, and then the next game they'll immediately just stop. And I just because none of them, even Christie. I don't think Christie's not a 7 threes a game guy. He's a 4.5 to 5. None of them outside of Clay really
No,
want to shoot a ton of threes.
no,
Cooper, God, the three-point attempts is not should not be happening. I don't care if you go 0 for 8. It's just man, it's so tough. It's like that was the thing was even when they had Luca when they made the finals, they didn't shoot that many threes, but you could count on Luca giving you 12 a game, right? And now, your main guy is shooting 3. It's just you're just
that's hard.
losing the game before you even play.
Yeah, right. But this is a
That's a next
transitional.
year problem.
Right,
That's a
right,
next
right.
year.
Right. It's not bad, but it's definitely something to point out. Like they can't be this deficient from 3 next season. Like it or not, like that's the league. Until they change the rules, that's the league. Like you can kick and scream if you don't want to shoot threes or you hate shooting threes, whatever.
And you can not make the
That's
playoffs.
yeah, that's right. That's so absolutely. They'll just keep missing the playoffs if they don't ever change this. And I don't think they like, the people that are remaining in the front office, I think understand this. I
Mhm.
don't think Jason Kidd is averse to it. I don't think he wants to be a team that doesn't shoot any threes necessarily. I don't think he's like a hard ass about this.
I don't
It's
think
just
he
the
has
roster
an
that was
offensive
built.
identity.
Yeah, I think his identity seems to be play hard, which helps and is commendable. But yeah, we'll see. Well, they'll definitely need to take steps in the right direction, both tactically and with the roster. That much is obvious, and we'll see where it goes. But boy, we got a lot more of these games. I don't know how we're gonna get through this. I mean, I'm looking. I was talking to Kirk. I don't know when they're gonna win their next game
Okay,
because
let me look at the schedule here. Let me pull
it's
this up.
harder than you think. Because you look at some and you're like, oh, it'll be probably New Orleans, but it's on the road at New Orleans,
No, they're
and
not beating New
New
Orleans.
Orleans is playing better
They'll
than
they'll
them.
tank that game. The Mavs will sit Cooper for that game. I guarantee
So,
you. He's not
when,
playing in that game.
okay, when are they winning their next game? It's really funny when you look at the schedule.
Okay,
It's
Atlanta.
at Atlanta.
No, they're not
No,
winning. They're not
no.
winning. Wait, let me rephrase. Memphis.
At Memphis, maybe,
No.
but no. But they won't be favored.
Cleveland. Absolutely not. At New Orleans, I think they'll intentionally tank that one. Atlanta, no. Clippers, no. Golden State, no. Denver, no. Portland, no.
Yeah,
Minnesota, no. Hey, we're through March. That was March. Milwaukee is so
maybe.
bad.
Yeah,
Depending on the
yeah.
Cam Thomas, how many minutes he plays, I could see it.
It's probably Milwaukee.
Orlando, no. Lakers, no. Clippers, no. Phoenix, no. San Antonio, no. And then Chicago, and a tank off. That'll be a tank off game right there.
Yeah.
So
Even
maybe 2 wins rest of the year.
Yeah, maybe
Over-
that Spurs game, because by then the
They
Spurs
might be
might have
sitting,
locked
but
in
even then,
their seat. Yeah, I know.
I think the Mavericks will probably take the last 4 games and rest Cooper, Najee, everybody, just full on tank.
Okay, so the Mavericks play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15,
18
16,
more
17.
games.
18 more games. Over under 2. What do you shoot? 2 wins. Is that even too high? Is that should the over under be 1.5?
I'll go over. I think they get 2 or 3 more.
You think they get 2 or 3 more? You think they'll just have a random game they shouldn't win?
I think Cooper will have a random game where he goes
off.
off.
Yeah, because he's going to get better. You're right. I mean, that could
get back in rhythm.
That could be as soon as the
games.
Memphis game, or maybe even by the Memphis game, he scores 35 or something. Yeah, I could see that. All right, you're right. But still, I don't think that they will be betting favored in any game they play, maybe until the Milwaukee game on March 31st.
And Giannis is back, though.
Oh, he is?
Yeah, he played the last game, right? I completely forgot.
Okay,
but I don't know. With Giannis, you don't know.
Right. Yeah. He could be hurt again, or they could shut him down by that point. So who knows? But yeah, it's going to be a long slog. They play so many road games. So even if they have a game where they play well, like they just don't win on the road. This team, even when this team was playing better before the trade deadline, they were still not winning on the road. So it's going to be tough. But yeah, we got 27 minutes out of this. So congrats, Jack. Take a pat on the back. I appreciate you joining me. We're going to get out of Dodge. I'm going to go edit stories on the website so we can get post-game content up. Jack, you go enjoy the rest of your Sunday night. I appreciate you hanging out with me. I appreciate anyone else hanging out. You guys are true sickos. But for Jack, for Kirk, when Kirk will be back, probably next pod, next game. So that next game is Atlanta on Tuesday. Kirk will likely be back. We'll talk to you then. So for Josh Bowe, for Jack, Pod Maverick, keep listening. Check out MavsMoneyball.com for more coverage, and we will talk to you guys later. See ya.
Yep, see y'all.